Okay, so פילגש בגבעה, horrific story, right? And it was more about שיחות דמים, about wait, I need one also. Oh, I have here one. And גילו עריות, and the husband not the ish treatment of his Pילגש and how he sees her more like a chefetz rather than a person. And so now we're going to see what is going to be the reaction of Am Yisrael to it, okay? And again, I think we're going to find, like, it's going to feel like there might be some elements that are okay, but like somehow things don't seem me'achus. Before we go on, I looked up Pילגש versus Isha. Pילגש is, it's a machloket actually, but most people say that it doesn't have kiddush, it doesn't have ketubah. Everybody says that she doesn't have a ketubah. Some people say she has a kiddushin and some don't. Okay, so it could. It's sort of like they tried not to talk about the option of having Pילגש. Like as the generations went on, they wanted to not have that option be very popular because that would lead to a lot of pritzut. Like obviously she can't be somebody who's married to somebody else, but you still don't really want a lot of sleeping around. And once Cherem de Rabbeinu Gershom was taken on by people, then a Pילגש it's also not okay. But it is in general somebody who does not have necessarily the same rights as an Isha. But usually, she's meant to be faithful to the one husband, and it's not meant to be something also that with a few people. Like it's meant to be like just the two of them relationship. But she does not have the same rights as an Isha. Okay. All right. So let's go on. Which it's like whatever. Whether that's true or not, what happened was not okay. Like, right? That's not judging on whether or not it's okay what happened with the Pילגש, but just so we have the facts in our head. Okay. Perek Kaf. Okay, so what we saw at the end of the last parak was that the Ish cuts up the Pילגש and sends it to all of the Shvatim. Could even just give it out. I mean, and I think it's not coincidence that we're going to have in Shmuel, Shaul cuts up a bakar. Okay, it's a big difference. Nachon. 100%. And he and then also I think it's how he's mityaches to her, like mamash, like a behema, like a meat. Property and a gush of meat, whatever it is. And he said, but he does some, and I think we said it really well, I think Sarah said it last time, is like, he sees her as property and it's his property that was damaged. And that's why he's so upset. Like, right? I thought that was a very good point. And then, and he sends it out, could it be that something like this would happen? Okay? Now, what is Bnei Israel's reaction? פסוק א', ויצאו כל בני ישראל ותקהל העדה כאיש אחד למידן ועד באר שבע וארץ הגלעד אל השם מצפה. Okay, so Bnei Israel reacts. They're also shocked. Like we're shocked, like everybody's shocked. They're shocked. They all, ויתקהל העדה כאיש אחד. Was there any point in Shoftim that this happened? Like in all of the stories, did we see this coming together keish echad since Har Sinai? Like have we heard this phrase used? There is one time, and it's important to note it, that in Perek Bet, the beginning of Perek Bet, it doesn't quite say it in this way, but that a malach comes and criticizes them. פרק ב' ויעל מלאך השם מן הגלגל אל הבוכים ויאמר אעלה אתכם ממצרים ואביא אתכם אל הארץ אשר נשבעתי לאבותיכם ואומר לא אפר בריתי אתכם לעולם. The malach comes to give tochacha to Am Yisrael. If we look at the end of what he says, it says פסוק ד' ויהי כדבר מלאך השם על הדברים האלה אל כל בני ישראל ויישאו העם את כולם ויבכו. So it's like, here it's not quite the same כאיש אחד, but it says kol bnei Israel, which is not used again in Shoftim. And so the one time is when the malach gives a tochacha, and they accept it, and the second time is here.
I thought that there were times that we spoke about that there were times that were good, and that they were together and they were better.
But it was never everybody. But she criticizes half the Shvatim who don't come to fight with her.
But I thought in the end, okay.
What?
Oh. No, I thought in the end that it was.
There was no. There's no point where they're all together. There are times when we have a Moshiach. There are times when we manage to conquer our enemies, but there's no point where everybody's together like this and like at the beginning. Okay. Which, by the way, this probably happened earlier in the time of Shoftim, but and we'll see why later. But these two stories are the two where it says kol like this, kol bnei Israel. So they get together. What are they going to do? Okay, and the keish echad lemidan ve'ad Beersheva mamash description. Beersheva is the southern part of Israel at this point, from Dan to Beersheva. The Eretz HaGilad El Hashem HaMitzpeh, like Eretz HaGilad means also the Ever HaYarden, and they come to the Mitzpeh. ויתייצבו פינות כל העם, כל שבטי ישראל, בקהל עם האלוקים, 400,000 איש רגלי שולף חרב. Okay, so 400,000 soldiers come together. וישמעו בני בנימין, כי עלו בני ישראל המצפה, ויאמרו בני ישראל, דברו היכן הייתה הרעה הזאת. Okay, so the pasuk says they hear what happened, and then Am Yisrael wants to understand what happened. Like we got this bad message, this horrible message, we all came, now we want to understand what happened. Okay?
It sounds like impossible that the people are asking the Bnei Binyamin.
It does, but they're not.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Now let's just look at a couple of them Mefarshim just to understand it a little bit. Because let's say, like in Pasuk Bet, it says, "V'yityatzvu pinot kol ha'am," right? So Radak, Rashei ha'am yityatzvu b'toch ha'kahal, shaya ha'kahal 400,000. So that when it says "V'yityatzvu pinot kol ha'am," like the Rashim come together. V'yityatzvu Rashim lish'ol v'lachkor eicha niyata ha'ra'a azot. So the leaders are looking into what happened. And then they stop. והפסיק בינתיים וישמעו בני בנימין להודיע כי הם שמעו בהתקבצם ולא הרגישו בדבר לבוא לפניהם ולבאר הרעה. The pasuk is actually showing how on the one hand Bnei Binyamin hear, but they don't come and try to talk to Bnei Israel. Like instead, Bnei Israel within themselves are trying to figure out what happened. But there's some lack of communication here. Like and that pasuk showing the two next to each other is making that.
Could it be also because our natural low state that maybe them seeing this, they're worried about their own selves, thinking, let's see what happened because
it might happen to us?
Yeah, maybe it could happen to, like, we don't know what's going on, like, we need to change, something needs to be done.
Right.
Like
No, so on the one hand, like, do we see this positive or negative, that they all come together against
I think
this?
if they want to self-reflect and see what happened.
So it sounds positive, right? It's a good thing.
Yeah.
Bnei Israel is coming together. They actually want to do something about it. Something really wrong happened, and something really bad happened, and they want to do something about it. So we see this as positive. Okay,
Right.
let's start with that. Okay, okay. But now the Malvim, I'm just gonna I point out. It seems positive, so we're going to see that it's not going to go so well. Okay, it's going to be probably much more bloodshed than the last.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, we're going to have a very hard parak. I was thinking about it like, wow, this is like right next to Yom HaZikaron and like wars, but this is the ultimate bad war, like because it's us against ourselves, like it's like civil war. Mamash, it's literally civil war. Okay, but let's read the Malbim a little bit. הנה אם היו הולכים בזה אחר משפט התורה בנידון פרטי, לא היו בעלי הגבעה חייבים מיתה. Okay, so now the Malbim is trying to explain, like, okay, what we're going to see that they're going to come to a very extreme answer as to what should be done, okay? And the Malbim saying, if they'd really done according to halacha, they would have understood that we really don't have to go so extreme about what's going to happen. And maybe we'll wait with the Malbim till we see what they come to first, okay? Let's first see what do they decide, and then we'll go back to the Malbim, even though he wrote it on the pasuk. Okay, so,
I can't grasp this whole thing is, are they angry at the body that was cut up, or are they angry at the act that was done to the woman? Because how do they know? I mean, when he sends the pieces, what are they supposed to think?
Right, nachon. But I think it's pretty clear that they're reacting to the body, to what happened to the woman. They're not reacting to what he did.
How do they know what happened to the woman?
Probably said let's with it.
I think we heard a message. If you look, if you look at the end of Perek, if you look at the end of Perek Yutet, it says, "Vaya kol haroeh v'avar." Pasuk lamed. ואמר לא נהייתה ולא נראתה כזאת למיום עלות בני ישראל מארץ מצרים עד היום הזה שימו לכם עלייה עצו ודברו. He said, he sends a message. Did you see any time that something like this has ever happened?
But what are they seeing? They're seeing a piece of a body.
Right.
They're not seeing what was done to the body beforehand.
Okay, well, yeah. Nachon. They're seeing, right.
He's not describing what was done to her.
He's sending out. He's going to tell them now what he did, what happened. Okay, somehow what he did shocked them to the extent they all come together it's clear to them something terrible happened, and you're right. You would think that they would have some reaction to the fact that somebody cut her up into 12 pieces and we send them out, but we're going to see that that's not what they're reacting to. I think it will become clear with as we go along. Okay. Okay, so then, but they do want to know, how did this bad thing happen? Okay, that's their question. Pasuk Daled, Vayan ha'isha levi, ish ha'isha, which, by the way, the Malbim said, just so you know, he's Malbim 3. Ba'al oti shelo hayta pnuya, v'lo zanta tachtav, כי הוא איש האישה בדרך קידושין, ושהייתה מותרת לו כי לא זינתה תחתיו, ושלא מתה מחמת הקור כי נרצחה. Okay? Like, it says very clearly, the pasuk, האיש הלוי, איש האישה הנרצחה. Like, this is legitimate. Okay.
It's very one-sided story.
That is the Malbim actually talks about that. Okay, but we'll get back to that in a minute. Let's just see first, what do they hear? Okay, ויאמר הגבעת אשר לבנימין באתי אני ופילגשי ללון, ויקומו אליי בעלי הגבעה ויסובו אליי אל הבית לילה אותי דימו להרוג ואת פילגשי עינו ותמות. So he sums up the whole story. Like we know the story was a little bit more complicated than that. Meaning, like first they didn't do achasat rochei, which he doesn't even mention, but also they wanted to kill him, which is they wanted to la'nototo. We don't know exactly lida'oto, okay, but he felt that he wanted to kill him, and then. He doesn't say, well, and I pushed my Pelegish out of the door, and exactly, and we know she died after. She wasn't dead when she came to his door. Okay, she didn't die with him.
But all the things that happen are like the three things that you're not supposed to do. But shvichut damim, they're not following Torah, so it's like avodah zarah, and it's like all three, like
they basically. I mean, I don't. Avodah zarah we didn't hear directly. That was Pesel Micha, but I'm saying like we did.
But we knew that it was going around, and we knew that this is the level that they were on. Like meaning they were still looking for Hashem, but like still
doing it wrong. But that was more in the story of Pesel Micha. Here we really have shvichut damim and gilu arayot. That was in Pילגש B'Gva'ah. Here, unfortunately, we're also going to have more shvichut damim. But this, they're listening to the story. Okay, let's finish to what he says.
It's strange here. Okay, in Pasuk Dalet, when the author, okay?
Yeah.
He's relating to him. He's saying it's his
wife.
When he's talking,
פילגש. Yeah. נכון.
But what difference is it?
Well, no, but Pelegish, I think the reason the author says that is that he, and it could be the author is hinting to us, shouldn't he have a little bit more caring for her? Ma'achuz, I agree.
His own yachas
to her is
a very degrading
mamash.
yachas.
Agreed, but Bnei Israel don't pick up on that, okay? They don't. Well, anyway, let's go on.
They don't pick up on anything except for the body parts. I mean, you get a message like that, that's all you can think about. You probably don't even
Okay, so you think it's
the
natural.
story.
It's natural,
You'll
yeah.
just, you know, oh
You're
my
so
goodness,
horrified.
this is terrible, let's just do
No,
something.
we understand that. Like, I think, yeah, 100%. Okay. ויקומו אליי בעלי, okay, we read that, sorry, פסוק ו' ואחז בפילגשי ונתחה ושלחה בכל שדה נחלת ישראל, כי עשו זימה ונבלה בישראל. Okay? So now, I want to just look at, first of all, we can look at the Malbim, let's look at the Malbim as to what should Bnei Israel have done? Okay, before we look at the Malbim, what do you think Bnei Israel should have done at this point? They hear this testimony, what should they do?
Ask the other side.
Find out from the other side, okay.
Verify the facts.
Verify the facts, exactly.
What I feel that's missing is all these things are going on. Like normally, like we see, like throughout history, there's supposed to be like a big din. There's supposed to be a person. There's no justice.
There's no justice. And
it's
again,
like
so the
There's
pasuk,
no money.
so it started off, En melech b'Yisrael, isha yashar beinav yaseh. And we're going to see how terrible that gets to. This is like the word. I have to say, I think it's worse than Pילגש בגבעה. Like I'm not belittling her suffering, but we're going to see what's going to happen, and it's like your heart just breaks. Okay, anyway, sorry, spoiler. Okay, but let's look at first at the Malbim, who also says basically what you guys said. If you went by Mishpat HaTorah, lo hayu ba'alei hagivah chayavim mitah. So not only did they not do mishpat, but actually by Jewish law, it shouldn't have gotten to the deen that they're going to get to of like going into war with Bnei Binyamin. כמו שכתב הרמב"ן, שעל מה שרצו לאנוס אותו היה רק מחשבה, לא עשו בפועל. They didn't actually rape him, which is ממש אסור, like the תועבה. ועל מה שבאו אל פילגשו, לדעת הרמב"ן, פילגש היא בלא קידושין. Okay, so like we're doing a pilpul here, right? So like Ramban says, like, well, a פילגש is not even a proper wife. ואף לדעת האומר שהיא בקידושין, לא היו שם עדים והתראה. Meaning, the question is not what they were doing right. The question is, לפי דין Torah, what should happen? But they didn't do any din Torah. You were going to see, they're going to all decide to fight the whole Shevet. Like, it's going to be that extreme. So they say that even if there had been din Torah, not necessarily that you have to kill the people that did it. ועל שמתה, זה היה מחולשתה, כי לא כיוונו להורגה. They didn't try to, again, I'm not trying, this is, we're just trying to figure out what is the deen of the person who did this to her, not necessarily how bad is the mess. What?
I don't like what he's saying.
You don't like what he's saying. It's really hard for you to stomach it. But what he's saying is,
They didn't
What?
kill her, they just raped her 3,000 times.
no. He's saying, what is their deen? What is the deen Torah? What is the punishment that they're meant to get? And you don't, I don't know if you've read the rest of the story, but there's going to be hundreds of thousands of people killed because of this. I'm just saying because they didn't do a din Torah. Mm-hmm. So that's what he's trying to figure out. Like, what should they have done? Like, and what would have been the punishment to the people on Pילגש בגבעה? Nobody's saying what they did was okay, in any way, shape, or form. They're just saying it was, what is the deen of how you punish it?
They're going out against everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody did not do
What it was.
It was the Biryonim.
Nachon. That's true, except for the one thing that Binyamin also has a part in this. They didn't come out. We're going to see they also didn't come out to talk to them. Like, there's a lack of communication here. There's going to be the reason they all go on Binyamin is because Binyamin also doesn't give up the people that are supposed to be given up. Okay, so like both sides here are not, like if something feels not good about the story, you're probably right. Like the whole story's bad. Like, but it's also through the extreme story you understand what one should be doing. But again, don't think he's saying that what they did was okay in any way, shape, or form. He's trying to figure out what would have been the din Torah if they'd done it. Okay. רק שישראל התקנאו על כי נעשה בקהל ובפרסום, שבזה נידונים כדין כופרים. Okay, so he's giving them the credit to say that Israel is done very strongly because this was done in front of other people, and they're like kofrim. כי רבים מתאספים לנבלה הגדולה וזאת בשאת נפש. Look how many people did it together. ועם כל הפרטים שנצטרפו במעשה זאת הם קרובים לעיר נידחת. And we're getting close to the problem that this is an ir nidachat. And what happens to an ir nidachat in halacha? You're supposed to destroy it. An ir nidachat is supposed to be destroyed. It's an ir where they all are oved avodah zarah. They're all doing it now, but that's not the case in this case. There were a few people, right? However, they're close. What Malbim is saying, they're getting close to that definition, and that's why Am Yisrael thought that they could do this. Okay. ויכולים להרוג למגדר מילתא לפי צורך הפרטים שנצטרפו במעשה זאת, לפי צורך שעה. וזה לא יוכל לעשות רק או מלך ישראל שיכול להורגם בדין המלכות, או כללות ישראל עם הסנהדרין בראשיהם, שעומדים במקום מלך, ויכולים להרוג חברת הזידונים כמו המלך, בפרט בשהיה בזה חילול השם גדול. Okay, so he's saying, like, בסוף, there really is a terrible thing that happened here. There is a chilul Hashem. So either a melech or a Sanhedrin can make a decision to destroy the whole city. Okay? וזה שכתוב ויצאו כל בני ישראל ותקהל העדה כי מבואר אצלנו שגדר שם עדה הוא אם יתאספו ישראל וזקניהם בראשיהם. Okay, so it's as if really the Sanhedrins come together. Okay. All right. So they've come together, they hear this horrible story. Now what are they going to do next? פסוק ז' והנה כולכם בני ישראל הבו לכם דבר ועצו הלום. Okay? פסוק ח' ויקם כל העם כאיש אחד לאמור לא נלך איש לאוהלו ולא נסור איש לביתו ועתה זה הדבר אשר נעשה לגבעה עליה בגורל. Okay? We are not giving up on this. This cannot go on. We do not want this to happen again. And we're going to come up to the Giv'al, and it's going to have its goral. ולקחנו 10 אנשים למאה, לכל שבטי ישראל, ומאה ל1,000, ו1,000 לרבבה. We're going to take a tenth of everybody. לקחת צידה לעם לעשות, לבואם לגבע בנימין, ככל הנבלה אשר עשה בישראל. We are going to take a tenth, and take out a tenth, and we're going to have an army, and we're going to stop whatever nevela happened here. Now, again, there's a lot to say positive about this. They're not going to let something terrible like this happen, and they're not going to let it go, anybody get away with this. Okay? ויאסף כל איש ישראל אל העיר כאיש אחד חברים. Again, you see the emphasis on how they're all oneness. The one time in Shoftim that they're all one is to go against somebody else, to go against their own people. Okay? וישלחו שבטי ישראל אנשים בכל שבטי בנימין לאמור מה הרעה הזאת אשר נהייתה בכם. Okay, so they do send out a message to Bnei Binyamin and say what happened here, right? They give them the credit, they tried. ואתנה תנו את האנשים בני הבליעל אשר בגבעה ונמיתם ונבערה רעה בישראל ולא, okay, ולא אבו בני בנימין לשמוע בכל אחיהם בני ישראל. Okay, so it takes two to tango. Okay, like they try, they say, give us the people, we want to kill them. And Bnei Binyamin are like, no, we don't, we're loyal to each other. We're not giving them up. Okay? Sorry, not the best story. Okay, ויאספו בני בנימין מן הערים הגבעתה לצאת למלחמה עם בני ישראל. They come to war. והתפקדו בני בנימין ביום ההוא מהערים 26,000 איש שולף חרב לבד מיושבי הגבעה, התפקדו 700 איש בחור. Okay, so there's 26,700 bnei Binyamin fighters, and we said there were 400,000 fighters in bnei Israel. Okay? מכל העם הזה 700 איש בחור איתר יד ימינו, כל זה קולע באבן על השערה ולא יחטיא. Okay, so now the 700 בחור of Binyamin, they were all lefties. And they were such good slingshots that they would never miss. Okay? לא יחטיא. So they're really good warriors, these Binyamins. Remember Ehud ben Gera, I don't know if you remember, he was from Binyamin, and he also attacked the king with his left hand, and he surprises him, and they win the war then. Okay. ואיש ישראל התפקדו לבד מבנימין 400,000 איש, שולף חרב, כל זה איש מלחמה. Okay, and by Israel, like we said, 400,000. ויקומו ויעלו בית אל, וישאלו באלוקים, ויאמרו בני ישראל, מי יעלה לנו בתחילה למלחמה עם בני בנימין? ויאמר השם, יהודה בתחילה. Okay, so it seems they're doing right by the book, right?
Yeah, except, you get the answer according to the question you asked.
יפה מאוד. We're going to see that they asked, should we fight?
Who should go
ממש ככה. And by the way, again, a throwback to the beginning of Shoftim. The throwback to the beginning of Shoftim, Perek Aleph. They ask who should start fighting first. I don't know if you remember this. After Yoshua dies. ויהי אחרי מות יהושע, וישאלו בני ישראל והשם לאמור מי יעלה לנו אל הכנעני. כנעני! Okay, it's like it's striking. בתחילה להילחם בו, ויאמר השם יהודה יעלה. Okay? So here is יהודה בתחילה. He doesn't say יהודה יעלה, he says יהודה בתחילה. But so a lot of Mefarshim say that Hashem's answer was, if you're going to do something, Yehuda goes first. Okay, they didn't ask if they were what they should do or whether they're doing the right thing. They're asking who should go first. Okay. By the way, it says Beit El. Many Mefarshim say it's just Beit Shiloh because that's where the Mishkan is and it's where the Beit El is. But some people also say it's Beit El. Okay. ויקומו בני ישראל בבוקר ויחנו על הגבעה. ויצא איש ישראל למלחמה עם בנימין, ויערכו איתם איש ישראל מלחמה על הגבעה. Okay, so they go out to war. ויצאו בני בנימין מן הגבעה, וישחיתו בישראל ביום ההוא 22,000 איש ארצה. בני בנימין killed 22,000 of בני ישראל. I can see you. It's horrible, right? It's horrible, and the numbers, and you're against each other. Like you just want to cry. You really just want to cry. Anyway, ויתחזק העם איש ישראל ויוסיפו לערוך מלחמה במקום אשר ערכו שם ביום הראשון. Okay, so the first step is Hashem has said Yehuda בתחילה, and they come with a big defeat. Like 22,000 are killed. So then, but they decide to go on.
But wait a minute, it sounds like Binyamin was so evil, but here Am Yisrael are coming together, but now they're still being punished, and I don't understand that.
Good. Okay, first of all, okay, why are you saying Binyamin is so evil because they wouldn't give up the Bnei Belial?
Because of even from the beginning, from the whole story that happened, like their whole behavior and everything that provoked.
Okay, but was it all of Binyamin? It was the Bnei Belial and Binyamin.
No one took them in. If you go all the way back. Before the
Nobody took them in. Nobody takes them in. Okay, so that's not okay. The people who actually did this ma'aseh, it was a certain group of people.
Okay.
It's not all of Binyamin. Again, and it's the Givah. Like we're talking now that all of Binyamin is fighting against all of Israel. Okay? Like, again, if you say it's your nidachat, you can understand there's something really serious wrong here. There's something in what Bnei Israel are doing. But is it right?
But still, Binyamin
That's
has
a question.
Like, meaning that they're still just way more powerful than all.
So Binyamin are amazing fighters. Okay? They somehow managed to defeat them. But it's also clearly Hashem is giving it in their hands. Because when Hashem gives it, then Am Yisrael is going to win in the third day. But I'm just going to say, like, it's also what Hashem is allowing to happen. Okay? Like, he's clearly, there's a message here to Bnei Israel. You can't, this is something wrong here by the fact that they didn't win. And I think we need to also think about, like, Yoshua's wars, right? When they're used to, when Hashem is with you, you fight and you succeed, right? Against the Knaanim. Remember those Yoshua wars? They really succeeded. And this could really be, we're going to see that Pinchas is mentioned. This is not so far after Yoshua's time. So they're used to, you do a war, and then you succeed, especially you asked Hashem. And he said to Yudash, go first. Okay? So this is also hard for them. We're going to see the next pasuk. ויעלו בני ישראל ויבכו לפני השם עד הערב. וישאלו בהשם לאמור, האוסיף לגשת למלחמה עם בני בנימין אחי. ויאמר השם, עלו אליו. Okay, so they asked the question differently this time. And they say, should I go on fighting? This time they ask if they should fight at least. They didn't ask that the first time. And Hashem says, no, yes, go against him. ויקרבו בני ישראל אל בני בנימין ביום השני. They come the second day. ויצא בנימין לקראתם מן הגבעה ביום השני, וישחיתו בבני ישראל עוד 18,000 איש ארצה. כל אלה שולפי חרב. They kill another 18,000.
And they haven't lost anyone yet?
Nope. Which is like something like that, calling out what does Hashem want from us, right? Okay. I want to read through the story, then we'll look at the Vavi, because he explains a bit what's going, like what were they doing wrong and what was, okay. ויעלו כל בני ישראל וכל העם, ויבואו בית אל, ויבכו, וישבו שם לפני השם, ויצומו ביום ההוא עד הערב, ויעלו עולות ושלמים לפני השם. Okay, so the response is getting more extreme every time, okay? This time they're like, they fast, they cry, they bring olot. Last time they what did they do last time? They cried, right? One second, what pasuk was it? They cried and they asked, okay? Here they're like, Mamash, they realize something is wrong. Why is this happening? 18,000 people died. Up to now, 40,000 people died. וישאלו בני ישראל בהשם, ושם ארון ברית אלוקים בימים ההם. ופנחס בן אלעזר בן אהרון עומד לפניו בימים ההם לאמור, האוסיף עוד לצאת למלחמה עם בני בנימין אחי. אם אחדל. The first time they even showed the option of stopping. ויאמר השם, עלו כי בחר אתננו בידך. Okay, now Hashem is a bit more of a clear answer. This time I'm going to give them to you. Okay.
Is this the first time we've had Pinchas?
In the book?
Yeah, in Shoftim.
No. They build the... Oh, you're right. That was in Yoshua.
Like, where has he been?
Where has he been?
Yeah, like he could be running the show.
Chazal has been have a lot of bikorets about him, and bikoret in this story also, and what happens.
But also here,
But yeah.
the first time you're saying that they're turning to Hashem, and like now so Hashem is saying, so now I will do it.
I mean, they turned 3 times now. Each day they went and asked Hashem. The first time they asked, but they said, who should go first? The second time they asked, they said, should we fight or not? And the third time they're saying, should we fight or should we stop? And they also fasted. And they also, it's clear they did some tshuva here, right?
Okay.
Another thing the Balbi points out is that, like, both times they just go to the war as if they're botchim, that they can just do it. Yeah. They're not even making any, try to like do some takhsis somehow to do it. They just think that there's a little bit of arrogance here in the way they're fighting. We're going to see the difference in this third day. Okay, so but this time Hashem says, I'm going to give them to you. Vayasem Yisrael orvim el hagivah saviv. Okay, so here we're going to see a very similar thing to one of Yoshua's war. They make like they try to catch them, and that they have they come like normal, but they also put people in the back of the city, and there's going to be another group of people also. ויעלו בני ישראל אל בני בנימין ביום השלישי ויערכו על הגבעה כפעם בפעם. ויצאו בני בנימין לקראת העם, הנתקו מן העיר, ויחלו להכות מהעם חללים כפעם בפעם. במסילות אשר אחת עולה בית אל ואחת גבעתה, בשדה כ-30 איש בישראל. So בני בנימין do the same thing they always did, and they start trying to destroy from Bnei Israel, and they kill like 30 people this time. 30 people versus tens of thousands before, right? ויאמרו בני בנימין, ניגפים הם לפנינו כבראשונה, it's all the same. ובני ישראל אמרו, ננוסה ונתקנוהו מן העיר אל המסילות. We're going to pull them away from the city, so that they, and then and towards the mesilot, and we're going to see then the Orvim are going to come afterwards. וכל ישראל קמו ממקומו ויערכו בבל תמר ועורב ישראל מגיח ממקומו ממערה גבה. So it's in the back of גבע בנימין. They have a Orev that comes out. ויבואו מנגד לגבעה 10,000 איש בחור מכל ישראל, והמלחמה כבדה והם לא ידעו כי נוגעת אליהם הרעה. I mean, I think that's בני בנימין don't know, they don't understand that they actually are going to be defeated this time. ויגוף השם את בנימין לפני ישראל, וישחיתו בני ישראל בבנימין ביום ההוא 25,100 איש, כל אלה שולף חרב. Do you remember how many they had? They had 25,700. They killed 25,100. There's 600 warriors left, okay? ויראו בני בנימין כי ניגפו ויתנו איש ישראל מקום לבנימין כי בטחו אל העורב אשר שמו על הגבעה, והעורב החישו ויפשטו על הגבעה, וימשוך העורב ויח את כל העיר לפי חרב. They kill everybody else in the city. והמועד היה לאיש ישראל עם העורב, הרב להעלותם מסעת העשן מן העיר. אוקיי, ויהפוך איש ישראל במלחמה, ובנימין החל להכות חללים באיש ישראל כ-30 איש, כי אמרו, אך נגפו לפנינו כמלחמה הראשונה. It's basically a summary of what happened. והמסעות החל לעלות מן העיר, but then they see the fire happening in the city, עמוד עשן. ויפן בנימין אחריו, והנה עלה כליל העיר השמיימה. בנימין sees that everybody's died. ואיש ישראל הפך ויבהל איש בנימין, כי ראה כי נגע עליו הרעה. ויפנו לפני איש ישראל אל דרך המדבר, והמלחמה הדביקתוהו, ואשר מהערים משחיתים אותו בתוכו. They go, so we see it gets all turned around. Bnei Israel managed to completely destroy Binyamin. They kill all their fighters except for 600, and then they start destroying city after city after city of Binyamin. קיטרו את בנימין, הרדיפוהו מנוחה, הדריכוהו עד נוכח הגבעה ממזרח שמש. ויפלו מבנימין 18,000 איש, את כל אלה אנשי חיל, ויפנו וינוסו המדבר על סלע הרימון, ויעללוהו במסילות 5,000 איש, וידבקו אחריו עד גדעם, ויקו ממנו 2,000 איש. So it's describing how step after step they managed to destroy them and go after them and kill them. And I think that the description is also like how cruel, like how much like bloodshed was done on this day. ויהי כל הנופלים מבנימין 25,000 שולף חרב ביום ההוא, את כל אלה אנשי חיל. ויפנו וינוסו המדבר על סלע הרימון 600 איש, וישבו בסלע רימון 4 חודשים. Okay, so 600 warriors are left, and they went and hid in the סלע רימון. ואיש ישראל שבו אל בני בנימין, ויקום לפי חרב מעיר מתום עד בהמה, עד כל הנמצא, גם כל הערים הנמצאות שילחו באש. Okay, they've killed, and at some point, they killed 125,000 Binyamins. Also, women, children, they kill everybody. And is left is the 600 Binyamin. Okay? What? Why 600? So they are the leftovers. They're the leftovers. 600 fighters. That's all that's left from Shevan Binyamin. Okay? So again, if you take it, that's what I want to make here for. In Bechukotai, there's a pasuk. Okay, so first of all, they've sworn that they're going to take care of this problem. They took care of it. Bnei Binyamin were not willing to give up the bad people from the Giv'ah. So then all together they become like they're done, like the Malbim says, like an Erdin Dachat. Erdin Dachat is destroyed completely. All of Binyamin is destroyed completely. Again, if this doesn't sit well with you, that's okay. Like none of us think this is a good story, and this isn't the way it should have. Like that's why the little things. Like it started off with one man, or the hachnasat orchim that you did a little bit too much, and then he goes a little bit too late, and then it starts off with that, or somebody who's a little bit too strict with his wife, maybe. Like we said, right? That's what Chazal came to. But again, now, are you crying?
No.
No. Okay.
But it's horrible.
It's a horrible story. It's a horrible story.
Hashem features quite a lot.
Hashem here features a lot. He not just features a lot. There's a big question here. Like, how come 40,000 of the Israel were killed? Okay, also, how come 125,000 of Binyamin are going to be killed, right? But how come, if they're supposed to be doing this, if this is a good, why are they being punished? What are they doing wrong? Right?
This is my own thought. I mean, I'm thinking about it again. Remember my first time. To me, just even took me way back to like even Yosef and Binyamin and how the future's supposed to be. There's a beautiful book about Rachel and Leah about like who's really supposed to be the future and what goes on. And like here you could almost feel like, okay, maybe Binyamin is feeling like really it should have gone through my side. Like all from the people came and you get arrogant and you start like taking matters into you. There's no Torah.
There's no Melech, there's no Torah, there's no nothing.
Yeah. Maybe the Malchut and everything's supposed to come from my direction. But there's a clear indication here.
Right.
It still needs to come through Yehuda.
Right. Okay. That definitely is a message here. I just think that like
to kill.
I'm saying like also why didn't Binyamin give up the bad people? Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, even if that's true, there's something wrong. They're saying they should make their own decisions. They should have their own mishpat.
And this is not the way that it goes. And when you
if you lose Hashem and you lose the Torah and you lose 100%, like it's clear that this story is meant to show like how far things can go if you yes, mamash, 100%. I just want to bring one Gemara here that's just on that question of like why did Am Yisrael deserve? Because there is this point, Chazal still have a problem. Like even if you say like people, Hashem lets things happen, like let you decide, make decisions and then lets it happen. Like he still allowed 40,000 Bnei Israel to be killed. He allowed all the Binyamin. Okay, so this is, and I think Hashem olichoto until a certain point. I think there's a limit how far Hashem usually goes. So why did he let it go so far? I think that's the question. So in source 6, mipnei ma. Okay, so we're in the middle of a matter. Mipnei ma lo manu et micha. Okay, so this is a Gemara that's talking about who does not have a chelek leolam haba. Okay, so then the question is, why didn't they include Micha? You'd think Micha should be somebody who doesn't have a chelek leolam haba. He caused so much of a dazara in his time. Okay, because he did achasat orchim. Okay, that's why he's not included in those who don't have a chelek leolam haba. V'avar bayam tzara v'yika bayam galim. Amar Rabbi Yochanan ze pislo shel Micha. Okay, so they say that the Pesel Micha came through Yam Suf. Putting that aside for a second. Tanya Rabbi Natan Omer, Migrav l'shilo shlosha milim. V'haya ashan ha'ma'aracha v'ashan Pesel Micha mitarvim ze b'zeh. Okay? Shiloh and Pesel Micha weren't so far apart. The smoke of each one in the Shemaim came together to that extent. Okay? That's how close they were. Bikshu malachei Asheret l'dochvo. Okay, the Malachei Asheret were like, how could this be? אמר להם הקדוש ברוך הוא, הניחו לו שפיתו מצויה לעוברי דרכים. Okay, so that's why we let מיכה go. ועל דבר זה נענשו אנשי פילגש בגבעה. אמר להם הקדוש ברוך הוא, בכבודי לא מחיתם? על כבודו של בשר ודם מחיתם? So a very strong point here is, you're allowing Pesach Micha to happen all these years. But when you get really upset about Pelegesh B'Givah to the extent that you almost destroyed a whole shevet. But you didn't come together against my kavod. So that's why Am Yisrael also gets punished here. There's a problem. As much as it's good that they don't want this nevilah to be done and Doma Amara should not be among us, and it's 100% correct. Well, if you're going to be such a tzaddik, then also be a tzaddik for Hashem. Okay, that's a point that has to be pointed out. So I was hoping we would finish the next parak also, but we have 5 minutes, so we're not going to finish this parak also. And I want to just. So I'll just give a little summary so we don't end with this point. So Am Yisrael is going to feel bad, in the next parak. For some reason, they're going to feel bad. And this is where we get the Tu B'Av story of going and dancing in the Kramim, is that, and then Bnei Binyamin, because there's going to be what's going to be left is these 600. They don't want Shevet Binyamin to be destroyed. They realize they're part of them. Am Yisrael is not the same without the whole Shevet of Binyamin. So therefore, they have it. Now there's other things that happen on the way that are not so good. But anyway, at least I'll tell you the good part is that they do care about Bnei Binyamin, and in the end, they find wives for them because all their own wives were killed. But Bezat Hashem. Sorry to end on such a hard note. Okay. I think so. They're recording, right? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Oh, yes. Thank you. We should all have a meaningful couple of days. And appreciate that our soldiers will fight each other. They fight our enemies. We shout at each other.
I saw somebody in this room next door.
Please. Bring the sheets next time, because the other side is the next prayer. Okay. Yom Tov.
Thank you. Thinking of you.
Thank you.
Lee, after I left your house, I went back, I looked on the streets.
Yeah, I looked also.
Oh, you did, thank you. I don't know if they were in my lap and, fell on the street when I got up. I looked through the house. I found these are.
Do you want to look through my house? Maybe
no, I didn't go anywhere. I sat on the couch.
Yeah, to the pillows of the couch.
Thank you. But, sorry. I don't know. Oh well. The only Nakhon I have is they were scratched and I need new ones anyway. So. But these are from Dollar Tree, these glasses. They're not that great. They work. I can see with them, but at least I have my prescription driving glasses. So.
I'm going to give this to open it.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah. My son, Danny, is thank God out. He was in Lebanon, but our grandson, Lebanon, so one of Danny's friends, who was right with him in Lebanon, was his vision is not good, and his hearing is only 20%.
And they have heard
and
stuff.
Danny is fine. So he said, Mommy, maybe you should tzedakah. I've been doing tzedakah, but you